Hello everybody, and welcome to the channel of Conductor123. Today we're going to be creating a missile which has created this enormous crater. This build requires 13 pistons, 2 sticky pistons, 27 Slimer honey blocks, 17 observers, and 80 blocks of TNT. First you want to start by placing 2 blocks upward like this, and placing the piston the direction you want your missile to fly. Then you want to place a slime or honey block on the face of the piston, and a sticky piston facing inwards, and a slime block right here. Then you'll want to come to where the piston is facing, so this is the piston, and place another piston. Then you'll want to have an observer facing downwards into this slime block, and then you'll want another observer facing downwards into this slime block. So, an observer facing down on both slime blocks. Next, we'll want to bring the slime blocks 2 blocks out, and have the line of 4 if you want 2 sets of TNT. Next, you want to place an observer facing into a piston, away from the honey blocks, in these 2 spots. Next, you want to take 2 honey blocks out again, 2 blocks out again, and 4 blocks tall, like this, and have an observer facing into a piston right here, and an observer facing into the piston right here, and the same on the other side. So, 2, 3, 4, and observer, piston, observer, piston. Once you're done with that, you'll want to bring a slime or honey block 2 blocks out like this, and have this honey block right here. Underneath you'll want TNT, on the sides you'll want TNT, and on the top. Then you want to bring TNT on the sides again, and place TNT in the middle. Then you'll want to place an observer facing away from the TNT into a piston. And then you can do the same on all of them. Now, after this, you'll want to place a honey block. You want to place a honey or slime block 2 blocks out, and have TNT on all sides. Like this. So the same thing as before, except instead of an observer there, you want 2 blocks of TNT. But the problem with this is that if it runs into any block on any of these 5 front blocks, then it'll stop and the TNT will activate. And so you can take the end off if you want it to not activate at one block. Like there's a block on the ground and you accidentally hit it. But if you have enough room, I would put the largest amount of TNT as possible. And this is almost the entire thing done. The only thing we need to do is to create the machine that sets off the TNT. So we'll start by placing an observer upwards, so that when this block gets pushed forwards, this observer will update and send a signal up through these observers into another flying machine, into this flying machine. Now you want a slime block here, an observer facing upwards, an observer facing upwards right here, and another slime block here. Wait, no, not a slime block right here. Next you want a piston facing this direction with a slime block on its face, and a sticky piston with a slime block on its face. Then you'll want to take the slime block down like this, so 2 blocks down, and have an observer underneath. And you want to make sure that this is lined up with the TNT, and so that the TNT will activate and set off when it's stopped. This is the whole machine done, and if you want to test it and run it into a wall of regular blocks, and make sure that it works properly, you can. And now I'm going to activate and blow up the house. Activate the machine and blow up the house. Why is this not working? Well, I tested it and it worked. If you look, the machine gets stopped, and this flying machine comes over and activates it. I think the reason that it was breaking was because of a slime block underneath, right here. If you have obsidian, use obsidian instead. That was fun. In a previous clip I recorded, my flying machine didn't work, but to prove that it does work, I created this. Now, you want to get rid of this slime block, and you want to replace this piston with, you want to replace the 3 observers, and move them over here, and replace them, the top two observers with a piston. So that way, it updates this and gives a quick pulse to the sticky piston, but for some reason still works. So you can see the observer and the piston were left behind, and this flying machine is now flying above that, above that flying machine, pushing all of this along. And when it explodes, as in my clip, it is a very big explosion. If you would like to expand, when you get to this point, have the honey blocks like this. Bring the honey or slime blocks out like this. And you can just like this on the build I showed, but then you can also bring this to the side. Or even downwards. And even downwards. So this allows you to have, or to use much larger amounts of TNT on your enemies in a PvP server, if that's what you play on. But you would have to make the TNT activation machine higher, so that it actually can activate the TNT. And if you get to the point where you're expanding like this, and you can't expand anywhere else, then you can just use a normal block. So the piston can push a normal block if you're still going to expand outwards. So that way you're not wasting any slime or honey blocks. Just have an observer and a piston outwards like that. But this allows you to use a lot larger amounts of TNT. Thank you for watching, if you watched all the way through the video, and please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.